has made Sean Combs a little bit nervous.
To me on that when you said, yeah, he looked like the gay homie, I didn't know what you were talking about. If you
No, I wouldn't go to... Do you think this might be too early?
Back in the early 2000s, 50 Cent was the new kid on the block, riding high with hits like In Da Club, while Diddy, already a mogul, ruled with Bad Boy Records. They weren't always enemies. 50 even ghost wrote for Diddy's 2001 track Let's Get It, but things turned sour fast. In 2006, 50 dropped The Bomb, a diss track that hit like a grenade. He didn't just call out Diddy's business moves, he suggested Diddy knew who was behind the 1997 murder of Notorious B.I.G., a claim with no proof but enough sting to make headlines. Diddy stayed cool, brushing it off, but the seed was planted. This wasn't just about music, it was personal, and the world was watching. But what pushed this rivalry beyond the mic?
John Diddy Combs walked into the courtroom yesterday wearing a sweater over a white-collared shirt and gray slacks. He hugged his attorneys when he got in.
The feud wasn't confined to studios. By 2010, 50 Cent was promoting Effin' Vodka, taking direct aim at Diddy's Ciroc empire. He didn't just compete, he mocked Ciroc, calling it grape juice, and bragging Effin's 5 distillations made it superior. Fans ate up the drama, but it was a moment years earlier that 50 couldn't shake. At Chris Lighty's 2007 wedding, Diddy approached 50 with an offer to go shopping, saying he'd foot the bill. To 50, it felt like a line you'd use on a date, not a fellow rapper. He laughed it off publicly, but later said it made his skin crawl. In interviews, 50 doubled down, hinting Diddy's vibe was off and joking about his party invites. Diddy played it smooth, claiming 50 loved him, but the tension was undeniable, and soon it would ignite something much bigger.
The statement is something from, you can tell it was written by a lawyer. Because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He's like,
fast forward to November 2023, and Diddy's world started crumbling. His ex, Cassie Ventura, filed a lawsuit accusing him of years of abuse, manipulation, and worse. The claims were explosive, allegations of physical violence and forced encounters, all denied by Diddy. They settled in a day, but the damage was done. Then, in May 2024, a leaked 2016 hotel video surfaced, showing Diddy shoving and kicking Cassie. The footage was a gut punch, backing her story and sparking outrage. More lawsuits followed, over 70 by late 2024, with accusers like Rodney Lil Rod Jones and Don Richard alleging everything from unwanted advances to assault. Federal raids on Diddy's homes uncovered over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, tied to allegations of orchestrated freak-offs. Diddy was hit with charges of racketeering, sex trafficking, and more, facing trial in May 2025. But someone was ready to turn up the heat.
Various charges against him. The 3 main ones are racketeering, basically extortion, sex trafficking, and the transportation of people across state lines.
Enter 50 Cent, who saw Diddy's legal mess as the perfect stage. In December 2023, right after Cassie's lawsuit, 50 announced a Netflix documentary, Diddy Do It, through his G-Unit Film and Television. This wasn't a side project, it was a calculated strike. Directed by Alexandria Stapleton, the series promised to peel back layers of Diddy's life, from his rise to these dark accusations. Netflix won a bidding war in May 2024, and 50 made sure the timing was razor sharp, dropping teasers as Diddy's trial loomed. The documentary's crown jewel, audio recordings of Diddy captured in casual moments, saying things that raised eyebrows. In one clip, he's heard offering to take a man shopping, his tone suggestive, even pushy. Another has him joking about kicking it in ways that felt too personal. 50 knew these clips would hit hard, and he was right. But how did they land in court?
Will you go out to the prison and will you visit him just for funsies? I don't know. You know, look, because you think that right now he can feel like I'm his enemy. Wait, right now, wait, what? Yeah, why would you feel that way? I mean, I'm not his enemy, the federal government.
May 5th, 2025 marked a turning point. Diddy walked into the New York courtroom, sharp in a navy sweater, all smiles as he hugged his lawyers. He'd rejected a plea deal, facing up to life in prison if convicted. The room buzzed with anticipation, reporters tapping away, fans refreshing X for updates. Then the prosecution played 50's audio. The courtroom froze. Diddy's voice filled the air, his words about shopping, boundaries crossed, sounding damning in this context. At first, Diddy stared ahead, stone-faced, but as the clips rolled, His mask slipped, his jaw tightened, hands clenched, and then he snapped. He leapt up, shouting that the audio was twisted, accusing 50 of sabotage. The judge banged the gavel, his team scrambled, but the outburst was viral before order was restored. The prosecution pounced, arguing the audio showed a pattern of behavior tied to the charges. Diddy's defense called it a setup, but the damage was done and the world couldn't look away.
But I don't have that thing where we ain't had no thing. I wasn't sending nothing at him, big. If it was on the street side like that, we would be actively doing things to each other.
Social media erupted. On X, hashtags like Diddy trial and 50 Cent trended for days. Fans were split. Some stood by Diddy, calling the audio a cheap shot, while others felt betrayed, seeing it as proof of long whispered rumors. Memes flooded Instagram, from Diddy oil jabs to courtroom sketches. Artists weighed in cautiously, some like those burned by Diddy before, hinted at vindication, while others stayed silent, wary of the industry's tight web. News outlets replayed the audio, dissecting every word. 50 Cent, never one to miss a moment, posted on X, "Told y'all I don't do puffy parties. Believe me now." The documentary, still unreleased, was already a cultural earthquake, with proceeds pledged to assault survivors. But what did this mean for Diddy's future?
Now, Fifth, when you continuously call Puff gay, does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said,
Let me read it, Fifth.
The stakes couldn't be higher. Diddy faces a minimum of 15 years for sex trafficking, 10 for transportation charges, and life if the racketeering sticks. His credibility's in tatters, his empire wobbling. 50 Cent's documentary isn't just a jab, it's a mirror reflecting years of whispers about Diddy's behind-the-scenes moves. Sure, 50's got a personal score to settle, but he's also poking at something bigger, an industry that's protected powerful figures too long. He and Stapleton insist this isn't about dragging hip-hop down, but about giving victims a voice. The audio's courtroom debut shifted the trial's tide, giving prosecutors a concrete edge. Diddy's team is scrambling, but explaining away those words is a steep climb. As the trial unfolds, one question lingers. Will this saga rewrite Diddy's legacy or the industry's?
Apologize, saying, "Sorry, Your Honor, I'm a little nervous today."
The stakes couldn't be higher. Diddy faces a minimum of 15 years for sex trafficking, 10 for transportation charges, and life if the racketeering sticks. His credibility's in tatters, his empire wobbling. 50 Cent's documentary isn't just a jab, it's a mirror reflecting years of whispers about Diddy's behind-the-scenes moves. Sure, 50's got a personal score to settle, but he's also poking at something bigger, an industry that's protected powerful figures too long. He and Stapleton insist this isn't about dragging hip-hop down, but about giving victims a voice. The audio's courtroom debut shifted the trial's tide, giving prosecutors a concrete edge. Diddy's team is scrambling, but explaining away those words is a steep climb. As the trial unfolds, one question lingers. Will this saga rewrite Diddy's legacy or the industry's?
8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women. How many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
This feud's bigger than 2 rappers. It's hip-hop's mirror moment. Diddy's saga has cracked open questions the industry's dodged for years. How do power and silence protect the guilty? Why do victims wait decades to speak? X posts call it a reckoning, with users debating if hip-hop can clean house, or if this'll just fade. Artists like Mace, once silenced by Diddy's contracts, are speaking out, while others fear backlash. The documentary's ripple could shift how stars wield power, or it might split the culture. Some see 50 as a truth teller, others as a clout chaser tearing down a legend. Either way, the game's exposed, and fans are watching. Will this spark reform, or just more drama?
Could be a life sentence. The sex trafficking is 15 years minimum, and the transportation for prostitution purposes is 10 years minimum. So
X exploded like a wildfire. Hashtags like their Diddy trial and 50 versus Diddy trended for weeks. Fans split down the middle. Some swore Diddy was framed, a black icon targeted by the system, while others felt gut punched, seeing the audio as proof of long buried truths. Memes flooded Instagram, from Diddy oil jokes to courtroom skits. Artists tiptoed around it. Mace and Lil Rod hinted at vindication, but big names stayed quiet, wary of the industry's long memory. News outlets looped the audio, dissecting every syllable. 50 Cent, loving the chaos, posted on X, "Y'all still going to Puffy's parties? I'm good." The documentary, still unreleased, was already a phenomenon, with proceeds pledged to survivors of assault. But what was 50 really after? 50 Cent's no saint. He's a master troll with a trail of feuds from Ja Rule to Floyd Mayweather. But this feels different. Sure, he's settling a score, savoring Diddy's squirm. Yet he's also pulling back a curtain. His documentary, co-produced with Stapleton, isn't just about Diddy. It's about an industry that's shielded predators, where power trumps accountability. 50's X posts mix savage humor, like joking about Diddy Oil, with calls for justice, framing himself as a whistleblower. He's not alone. Stapleton's emphasized the victims, not the beef, and proceeds back that up. In December 2024, 50's G-Unit Films won a $1 million defamation suit against Beam Suntory, proving his clout's no bluff. Is he a hero or a hustler? Maybe both, but he's forcing a conversation and it's shaking the game.
There's really no deal that the U.S. Attorney's Office can offer, and it's certainly not one that Diddy will accept. It would involve decades in federal prison. We're talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for both the drug charges and the sex trafficking.
This feud's a gut check for hip-hop. X debates rage. Is this a cleanup or a takedown? Some call Diddy a scapegoat, a black titan targeted to dim the culture's shine. Others see 50 and Stapleton as sparks for change, forcing the industry to face its demons. Over 100 accusers, including 3 men with recent assault claims, suggest a deeper rot. The documentary's not just about Diddy, it's about who gets a pass when power's involved. Will it shift how stars operate or just fuel more X wars? Hip-hop's at a fork. Reckoning or repeat? One thing's clear, the beat's louder and it's not stopping.
And how much detail he could go into about his testimony. And because the 8 people in the videos, the 8 celebrities in the videos were allegedly victims of sex crimes, we know who they are, but we will not be naming them.
From a 2006 diss track to a 2025 courtroom clash, 50 Cent and Diddy's saga has rewritten hip-hop's script. A Netflix documentary, a few raw audio clips, and one mogul's meltdown have turned a personal beef into a cultural earthquake. Diddy faces life behind bars, his empire crumbling under charges that won't quit. 50's playing chess, not checkers, using his platform to expose truths some wish stayed buried. Whether you call him a genius or a grudge holder, he's forced the world to listen. Can Diddy claw back his name? Will hip-hop face its demons or keep dancing around them? This story's got chapters left, but one thing's sure, the beat's changed and it's louder than ever. What's your take? Is 50 saving the culture or burning it down? Hit the comments and let's talk.